as we move into draft, take that as a transition.
You know what will make this an even bigger heartbreaker game, Shaspot?
What?
If it's another Viego, because isn't that one of his
Yeah, it's
spells?
his ultimate. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think Team Unknown. Oh, yep. I was just about to say it. They should be smart enough to know that it is an RBE ban, no matter what, because regardless of if it's Wazak or Piano Bra or the other guy who played jungle for them in the last tournament, every single one of them played Viego to a ridiculously terrifying degree.
And you know what? I'm curious on Team Unknown's next ban because we saw not just a Viego as such a powerful a presence last game in particular. I like it. Emilio was a very impactful who kept Zeri, who wasn't necessarily that far ahead, allowed Zeri to just take team fights whenever she wanted.
Yeah, I have been under the impression that Melio is a little overtuned for a long time. It was actually a PLC game where I watched him heal and shield a Kog'Maw who was in a 1v3, and the Kog'Maw won.
I believe it. He's crazy.
For real, it was crazy. So I'm okay with that ban. We got the big scary guys being banned out by Royal Blue here. Skarner and Cho'Gath both taken away. Even with Skarner's recent nerfs, I was watching I think it's called First Stand. It's the new international tournament that they have going on with the pros. And Skarner's still strong, guys. I'm just going to throw it out there. A little bit of extra damage is not going to stop him from being a super tanky crowd control machine. So keep that in mind. Skarner is strong.
And I know Top Ramen Chef, poor guy, was hoping to see the kind of train wreck Cho'Gath come along. The Teemo ban, no respect for the top lane of Team Unknown, as Galio is instant locked. Okay, interesting.
So the Galio is an interesting pick for me because as is Death in the bot lane. Did you recognize
Death in the bot lane? I did not notice that. Yeah. Okay, all right, a little bit of mix up going on. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
But yes, Galio has been a pretty pick or ban champion in this tournament so far. And it's kind of funny because I know how strong Galio is. And Billy might burn me at the stake for saying this, but it felt like Galio has not been making as much of a presence as you would think he would in these games, but so far he's been pick or ban every game. Piano Bra getting the Camille again though. That has been the champion on the name to look at, especially when it comes to last game.
Double danger here with the Zeri locked in as well. The mobility and the raw damage, not needing to worry about attack speed so much, and let's be honest, having a skill shot as an auto attack is in some scenarios better than having an auto attack. It helps you when you lose vision. On
the Twitch.
Speaking of picks that are just popular in our tournament, Twitch came out of nowhere and has been played so often on PLC broadcasts. So we'll see how Death does with that one, because Valentine and it wasn't Miniature Hobbit. Who was it? It was Monkey. And the legendary Kiroro Tarek locked in as well. This is going to be a treat.
I absolutely love Kiroro on Tarek. It is terrifying. He just is in the right spots at the right position. There's so much finesse with Tarek, and I love Kiroro on that. But I agree with that that Twitch side of things. Came out of nowhere, and now I'm a little bit less familiar with the other games. But last game he went AP. So I'm curious if he will go with that AP attack speed build as another. That champion. Yep. I got Seraphine picked.
You've got some favorites and not favorites, don't we, Shazbot?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I like this ban though from RBE. They take out the Poppy because look at their first two champions that are locked in. Very mobile, dashy champions. And so if you need to be able to move like that, you've got to get rid of the Poppy. So I'm gonna throw out there that our mid laner or jungler will probably be something that also has these types of dashes. Wukong stands out. Xin Zhao stands out as opportunities to lock in. I I think those are the first two that just come quickly to mind,
Sure.
and I'm okay with just saying those two as we're almost done with our last ban of this game.
I've had a little bit of a Vex obsession lately, and I think the historians can call me crazy in the future, but it's kind of sad to me that people are so willing to go Galio and not willing to go someone like Vex. And I know they're playing very different roles, but I don't look at Royal Blues team and say, "Yep, Galio ruins that team." Like I know it's a first pick, I know it's a blind pick, and at the same time, I just am not inspired by Galio, especially, oh man, Lilia. Again, another champion that's like, oh no, there's a Galio ult coming. I'm just going to like move away at 700 movement speed and then come back in, you know?
Right. But the good news is that the Galio already has the built-in magic shield to assist with the damage that Lilia does put out,
True,
that Seraphine does put out, because we don't actually know if that supports Seraphine or not. But
right?
what Death just locked in here will make Xeno and the Snurks in the chat very, very happy, as that is Lysandra.
And that's probably not a jungle, Sandra. So that's probably going top lane against the piano, bro. I gotta I'm very excited for this because man, this is an interesting matchup because Lysandra is very, very capable of getting out of sticky situations. So is Camille, and both champions are very good at going at each other. So it's like, how strong is the root? I don't know the matchup very well because I don't see a lot of Lysandra's top. So
Mhm.
we're gonna see how that goes. As Amumu is locked in as the final champion on Team Unknown.
I was hoping that we were going to get some weird flex where Free Bossman Jack was actually going to take to Twitch, but that's not what happened. Now, Royal Blue, I think, picked a great last pick here with the Silas. Let's take a look at some of these ultimates that he will be able to hijack.
Hmm.
Heroic Entrance.
Yep,
Pretty great.
classic. Hmm.
Curse of the Sad Mummy. Pretty strong. Frozen Tomb. Also strong.
Yeah,
Rat-a-tat-tat, not so great. I don't know what that will do to him. Like,
it's
does
not
it give
bad.
him? No,
Gives him range and it gives him a piercing bolt.
okay. That's gonna look really, really weird because he's
Oh yeah,
melee. But
it's pretty funny.
Cosmic Radiance,
Ooh, gross.
especially on a champion like Zeri, on a champion like Lilia, on a champion like Camille, who all want to be in and dealing damage up close, those 2 seconds of invulnerability are going to be pivotal. So I think that that is probably the linchpin of the entire draft, is throwing in that Silas. I think that was very, very clever.
And you know what? Looking at this now, I feel very silly for seeing Galio going top. That makes a lot more sense. But at the same time, does it? Like Galio being less impactful, can't respond to bot lane as much.
Mhm.
I honestly think I like the Lysandra top a little bit more. But oh, man, I I'm looking at this team and I really just think Royal Blue had some incredible responses to drafting. Royal Blue, of course, was the team that got to choose what side they were on, and I think picking Red Team was just very smart for them to be able to
Mhm.
to respond well, to lock down some powerful champions. Their team is terrifying.
Absolutely.
Not just the Silas that you were talking about, but like each one of them individually is a very, very big powerhouse. The CC from Seraphine is very annoying. But that isn't to say that Team Unknown is necessarily out of the game, as they just have some bombastic, just gigantic team fight ultimates. Every single one of them has team fight ultimates.
I don't even think it's just the teamfight ultimates we need to worry about. Twitch has that AoE slow,
True.
which does damage over time. Lysandra has that. It's actually quite a large ring range
Mhm.
of root. The engage capability is also really high. Galio has the AoE taunt. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of the composition from Team Unknown. In fact, the ability to dodge other abilities with Lysandra's ultimate right? You
Right.
just stop taking damage for a
Hmm.
whole 2 seconds, and then when you eventually get your, I almost said Rylai's or Leandries, but neither of those is right.
Sonya's.
That's the one. When you get your Zonias, that's 4.5 seconds of you can't touch this. And
I,
so go ahead.
I I will say right now, though, I'm going to make a prediction that Lissandra will only be ulting herself if Team Unknown as a
Mhm.
whole is in trouble. I think
Yes,
Lissandra wants to be ulting any one of these people to get them out of a fight. I think
truly.
if Lissandra is ulting herself, then we're in the timeline for Team Unknown. We are in a moment of crisis.
Well, especially when you combine it with the fact that Tarek can ult Lissandra, right?
Exactly. Right. Right.
So the other scary thing is I was talking with you during the break.
Hmm.
For those in the audience, did you count how many times Piano Bro dodged the seismic shove with his Hextech ultimatum?
You were telling me. I
It
missed the
it was
exact count.
I'm pretty sure it was 3. But then on top of that, their jungler also dodged seismic shoves and other spells using the Heartbreaker. And so when you look at the ability to do that, the timing on the casts of these pivotal spells has to be locked in. Both teams need to be careful because if they try and go onto the Lissandra, again, it might be in the danger zone if she needs to ult herself, but it is still possible, and it negates a big part of the engage. Camille doesn't get the attack speed if the stun doesn't land.
Right.
The knock up from the stolen Galio doesn't land. The charm from the Seraphine doesn't land. Maybe dodging the sleep from the Lilia. All of these different things are possible,
Right.
and calculating that is something that these guys need to be aware of and able to do.
Yeah, it's a very difficult. Royal Blue has picked a very very flexible team, not necessarily someone who will run away with the game, quite like the last team that they picked, but not getting picked out. Being one or two people in the jungle alone with no vision, and then suddenly ambushed by any amount of Royal Blue is going to be terrifying. And I think Royal Blue has kind of like made that as an identity for themselves as
Mhm.
these macro plays of the jungle just not being a safe place, and they're very good about removing wards, about getting unfavorable matchups for the enemy team, and they're quite fun to play with. And at the same time, we know Team Unknown to be this like wrecking ball of death that
Mhm.
all of a sudden it's just 4 or 5 people suddenly ganking the bot lane, and going from there. Uh, yeah, looking like a couple of bugs on the UI. That's okay. We will get those cleared as we go into the first game of the finals. Looking forward to this game very much. And yeah,
Well, everybody, let's see some hype in the chat as the first fight of our semifinals actually has come out on the bottom side. Miniature Hobbit and Death exchanging blows. And just right there, Miniature Hobbit able to check that brush with a quote-unquote auto attack. For my least fit. Oh, here we go, though. Dazzle almost lands. Miniature Hobbit is taking a lot of damage. Cleanse out of the exhaust. Exhaust
oh my
flashes forward.
goodness.
Cleanse as well. And it is first blood to Death on the Twitch.
All right, Death. All right, we see you. You've been locked in mid lane for too long. Welcome to bot lane. What a presence to be able to stand just out of range for that vision. Very very fun start of the game, and also it's going to be a very very scary way. A 300 gold inject onto an 80 carry this early is very scary. They're going to push the wave. They're going to recall. They're going to get another item, and it's going to just be that much harder for Royal Blue to exist at the same time in the bot lane.
Well, especially, Zeri is mobile, and she does very well with being in the middle of the fight with the damage that her ultimate can deal. But if you're close to a Twitch, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And so the conflict of those two missions, let's call it, is going to spell disaster for at least one of them.
Ooh,
Okay.
Piano Bro is just gonna take that. Oh man,
The passive from Camille is so strong. I
it's
love
so
it.
strong. It's deceptive. Like I think a lot of newer players have difficulty with Camille just because of the sheer amount of things going on at the same time. It's a very fluid champion,
Mhm.
But Kodo Draco seems to be handling it pretty well, coming up ahead on that last trade. I do.
Oh, and
Oh,
the taunt, is it gonna land? Idol of Durand is there. Piano Bird gets caught and killed. Team Unknown now 2-0. Turmac? Yeah, Turmac goes on to Lemon, but no one dies there. But the beginning of the game is favored to Team Unknown.
you say that like you're surprised. I think Team Unknown are my boys, and they're just showing that they're not intimidated by a very strong showing from Royal Blue last game.
Teleport back. Kodo Draco's in some trouble. He probably has to flash, but you can't dodge the flash stun from Piano Bra. There he flashes out of the brush, and it is not enough.
Putting the ward
but
in there.
mid-range.
Wow, we missed that.
It's such a PLC thing. We're all excited, and the more important thing happens somewhere else.
Hey, and that's okay. We like the action. You're seeing Amumu and Lilia showing, so that both teams know where they are. I do want to point out that the item that Twitch ended up getting is a coal, so that he's trying to advance his lead in the future. Just taking a bet, saying that they're not going to be fighting nearly as much as we were seeing in the last game. But this is a very aggressive Zeri, so we are going to see just how real that is. Gold is pretty close to each other. We're not seeing necessarily anyone pull out ahead. We're not necessarily seeing any stancing around the epic lane, but it does look like a lot of action happening around the mid lane. But they're going to get out just fine.
Bossman Jack tried to gank mid, but up on top side, Kodo Draco does land another Idol of Durand. The damage out of the passive is actually pretty intense from Galio's auto attacks. It's another one of those things that people just don't remember that it exists. But Lilia is on the way. Piano Bra is low. The Swirl Seed does land. Piano Bra is caught by the Idol of Durand, but Wazak does pick up the kill.
True damage is true damage, my friend. It just is not something that you're going to be able to avoid from that Lilia. Just getting caught a little bit too far forward. Kodo Draco has been very brave this game so far, which worked in his favor for getting that first kill. But unfortunately, if he continues at this pace, then the scary jungler and the Camille are just going to be too much. Pausing in the game, but we already have so much to talk about. It's honestly like a good moment to all pick ourselves up and move forward.
Absolutely. Of the lanes, did you think that top lane was going to have as much action as anywhere else on the map?
Honestly, yes. And what makes me say yes is we had a Maokai Camille last game, and it was just gank after fight after gank after fight. I think Piano Bro is just aggro. He is the red deck. He's playing goblins, and he is going face. And I kind of love it. Like he gets that. He loses first blood to his lane opponent, and then yet comes back and is able to close out basically a 1-for-1 trade immediately. And I think like Piano Bro is just in positions to punish people, and I think a champion like Camille on him is very, very strong for that.
Absolutely. And his debut, if I remember right, he got the pentakill on Jarvan in one of their games, and then really showed up on the... never mind, because Termac is going to take all of his health with the ultimate there from Lemon. Lots and lots of damage. I see a pause there on the screen.
It looks like it. That's okay.
I'm going to say that he dies here, that Lemon picks up that kill, but...
Very much so, because look at the level difference. He's just
here we
caught
go.
him at the wrong second. Bam.
There it was. Okay, finally. All right. Thank you, observers, for getting us back on track there. And, that is the one that surprises me. Silas is strong, but you scale with your W a lot stronger later. So I wouldn't want to be going and fighting Lissandra. She has so much crowd control, and especially a level down. You do not win that. Death gets the flank position. Miniature Hobbit is in some trouble, but instead Merlin Guy gets caught by the gank. That was gorgeous. Up on the top side, Piano Bra and Kodo Draco are still fighting, but I think that's all that's gonna be. But Kodo Draco should be careful. Wazak is up on the top side.
you can't feel safe around bot lane with Team Unknown. Like there's always going to be like 4 people somehow, Schrodinger's cat in the jungle.
Kodo Draco is going to be caught. There's another dodge with the Hextech ultimatum. Kodo Draco trying to deal the damage he can. He does go down. Pianobra picks that one up. But now the roam from Lemon up toward the grubs means Wazak needs to be careful.
I mean,
Lemon's going to get some wards.
Possibly, honestly, these teams are kind of yin yang from each other. Where Team Unknown has these crazy ganks bot lane. Honestly, Royal Blue can't leave top lane alone. That Piano Bro just has this like aggression around him that is just exciting his jungler to bring Smite Steal from the Amumu to get that last grub. I don't remember exactly how that works as far as feats go. I don't know.
You need all 3.
All 3.
Yeah.
Got it. So
they did stop.
Okay, and honestly, the feats have already gone over to the Team Unknown for the kill. So getting closer to that first turret or that.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, and he acknowledged that was a little emote. Oh, good man. I love our little tournament, but yeah, this is a very aggressive.
Termac just takes all of his health again. He's going in. But he hijacks the Glacial Prison, but it is not enough. Slayer is enough to flash forward into the prison. Lemon is on a killing spree, but Wazak is here as well. He's going to get a little bit of damage with the flower, but he will go down. Shutdown gold over to Wazak on the Lilia.
We said it wasn't enough, and yet Lilia showing up at the right time. I really think Lilia is a champion that scales much better than people give her credit. I've been playing a lot of Lilia myself. Shout outs to Caden, my good friend, who was showing me to Lilia. But getting 2 kills on Lilia, getting 2 kills on Camille, this just kind of feels like a repeat of last game where you might not be on Viego, but Lilia is still a terrifying champion when she get ahead.
Absolutely. And that's why the meta is that way, is these champions that can really run away with things. But that's a nice catch onto Miniature Hobbit. The ultimates are cast. Exhaust onto Miniature Hobbit as well. Another bandage toss will keep him locked down. He goes over the wall, and Flash from Death to try and keep him. Cosmic Radiance lands, and it does keep them safe. Merlin Guy's the next target, and that's a 2-for-0 trade for Team Unknown on the bottom side. Up on the middle by the Drake. Lemon is put to sleep. Termac helps get that kill. Wazak takes him down. Termac gets the kill on to Death and Kiroro. Free Bossman Jack is now getting a 1-for-2, and that's a triple kill for the Silas. And that's what you wait for.
Wow. Okay, so Team Unknown getting the double kill, but then Silas getting the triple kill is no joke. Silas, who was not on the board up until this point, is now on the board. Taking some time to push. And again, like all of these champions are champions that are scary. Getting a little bit of a lead is already terrifying enough, but Silas getting 3 more kills is going to put him in a position where he can start to make plays. And Team Unknown, who had a very commanding presence of this early game, is starting to lose a 2K lead to Royal Blue.
Now Kodo Draco's in some trouble. He had the advantage at first, but now Piano Bro, with that Sheen, suddenly has a lot more damage than it feels like he should. And at, what is that? That says 0, but that can't be right. I'm going to say level 8. Level 8 on the, that's almost maxed Q. Meaning you have so much extra true damage on that precision protocol that you're just going to break right through that poor Galio.
That champion, that quote-unquote support champion, hitting you with that execute level damage of Q on that Twitch. But yes, you're right with that Camille. A level 9 precision protocol is a very terrifying. Thank you, production, for showing their gold differences, as just Royal Blue has like slid them down engagement on Silas and on the top lane at the same time.
Piano Bra is caught with the bandage toss. No Curse of the Sad Mummy to keep him in. Lemon does make it out in the mid lane. Kiroro might be the next target as Miniature Hobbit does find him. And they will collapse. That's another kill over to the side of Royal Blue Esports. Now 10 to their name as they go for the Drake.
It's kind of crazy, the timing. The Drake is not what you want to see with this all. The first Drake going over to Team Unknown, but Royal Blue, who's had a commanding presence, is trying to get another epic monster, another engage on the bot lane.
Death is hit with 2 ultimates, no cleanse available, and he goes down pretty darn quickly. You might see his body twitch if you.
Ah, ha, ha. Yikes. It looks like otherwise we're going to have an epic monster exchange. Goodness gracious, the dad jokes. But yes, here we are. Royal Blue is starting to take like a commanding lead. I like these guys are the mid game kings. It seems like that they're just playing for a very slow, very methodical objective.
It's reminiscent of the Fall Guys. If you remember back
Yes.
to how they were able to play, there were some really chaotic early games, and then suddenly they picked a couple objectives, they took a turret or two, and then they were out of control. And I
Yeah.
do feel that with RBE right now, just like you were saying.
Yeah, seriously, and the aggression, it really does feel like another Fall Guys, and that's exciting to see a very aggressive top laner that won't be ignored. That top lane is not an island for me. I demand to be seen. And these high kills from the top lane and jungle match that aggression. However, I think Team Unknown is still in this. Oh man, wait.
Does manage to get the stun. Kodo Draco does go down. Precision Protocol is very, very powerful. Lemon tries to jump away, but does not have the range. Trying to get to the blast cone. No, just trying. Oh, he saves himself with the Glacial Prison, and he survives the onslaught. Curse of the Sad Mummy is there. Lemon doesn't have a whole lot of. Never mind, he jumps in against the roof, but gets ulted by Termac.
No!
And that's another kill. Rampage level for Wazak.
I'm telling you that the second the Silas was on the board was a really terrifying thing because suddenly he can make decisions. Oh man. Okay. Where's the Twitch mid lane?
Isn't that one of the most frustrating things? You're just like, where did you come from?
Yeah, seriously. Oh, right. Your champion can just do that. I can just choose where I am. Now, they do lose a couple of plates, of course, in bot lane, which is not nothing, but at the same time, getting kills on your carry is a nice thing to have. It's Seraphine is able to, of course, push champion because she was
going over the wall. They get the ultimates from Miniature Puppet and Merlin Guide. Bossman Jack is here. Conflict Radiance has gone down. They are invincible for now. Miniature Puppet is the next target. Oh, but the wall. He jumps over the wall. Kodo Draco jumps forward with the Justice Punch, and they pick up the kill. Death gets that one. Lemon, following Merlin Guide, gets exhausted and rooted. But Team Unknown do pick up a kill back.
That is an interesting little interaction with Seraphine. Seraphine able to root and then stun if someone was already slowed, and that person happened to be exhausted. So getting stunned with the Lysandra to make that clean escape, pretty nice. But yeah, this has been a very kind of a lopsided game. I used the term yin and yang before, but it really feels like there's the power top side and the power bot side. And it's going to be who has enough. Is it going to be the picks that Camille can make from these crazy long ranges on Royal Blue, or is it going to be the bot lane powerhouses?
Wazak might be caught here. Hit with the ultimate. Termac does get the Cosmic Radiance and makes himself invulnerable, but does not save Wazak. He jumps out and is not killed yet. Bandage Toss will get Termac. He jumps away with the Proto Belt, but that was quite the set of exchanges there.
Seriously, but we're not seeing too much headway, too much. I'm saying that a lot, but Royal Blue is able to start to pull away with this money lead. That large bounties on the Camille and their jungler, and it's going to be a matter of like a decision points for Team Unknown to be able to respond to this. I feel like Twitch is a powerhouse right now. Just finishing his call as I say that, but I don't know if he's enough of a powerhouse right now. He's been locked to the bot lane, and all of the action is starting to happen around the top lane. And
Lemon, he's underneath the turret. He gets rooted, but it's so close.
Oh man,
Termac makes it out.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So I think we're at a point where Team Unknown needs to make some hard decisions. Maybe lose that bot tower. Maybe figure out what's next. Now, feats have not been claimed by either team yet. So we're looking at these epic monsters to figure out who can get the next two, and Dragon is spawning soon. So
actually, Team Unknown only needs one.
Do they only need?
Yeah, they got the second set of grubs and a Drake. So they only need one. They need one Drake or the Rift Herald, and then they get the feats. You're
absolutely right. So that's a big deal for Team Unknown. However, it doesn't look like they have the map presence right now. So it's a matter of you know, this like suffocation. I used this for last game.
Oh, that was actually crazy. The timing on all that was bananas, and Piano Bra goes down.
Piano Bra trying to dodge out a lot of that damage, but you know, Kodo Draco perfectly spacing it such that he can punish that wild engage from Camille. Very, very good. That's a lot of money in his
Bossman
pocket.
Jack sets up another play. Wazak is the target. He gets hit with so much crowd control. He's still alive because of the passive. It's not enough. Hero throws them. The Cosmic Radiant saves his teammates. They go on to Termac. He is down, and this is the play you were talking about. Team Unknown pick up 3 for nothing.
That's
it might be 4. Death is on the chase. Miniature Hobbit going for the execute. It's not enough. Death on a rampage, and this will open up the Drake.
This will open up the Drake if they can secure it in time. We've got enough spawns to come in that Team Unknown might hesitate to actually take this Drake. It does look like the Twitch is looking at it, but honestly is hesitating enough that I don't think that they'll be able to take this Drake and claim the feats.
Yeah, not with Camille alive.
Right, that's dangerous. Like, this is the powerhouse of their top lane. Is like, it's enough that they have to hesitate to taking feats, which is a big deal. But I think that's a smart play because Twitch can't afford to lose his shutdown gold at this time. He needs to stay in the game. 6-2, so it's just a matter of making sure that the gold stays in Team Unknown's pockets and not Royal Blue's pockets. They did get a lot from that fight, though. As they start the Drake, the timer is started for the other team. Team Unknown wisely responding to their ward going down.
I think you just go get Rift Herald instead. Never mind, you kill Seraphine. Because Merlin guy is caught, absolutely. They didn't even use ultimates for that. That was all just standard abilities, and without the Seraphine power, I think you're a lot more confident if you're Team Unknown. Cosmic Radiance is available, but Kirogo's in some trouble. Caught in the Hex that made him down. Stop Piano Bra for now. Flash away while exhausted. Termac on the backside gets a Galio ultimate, but it won't save him. Piano Bra is killed as well. That's the double kill for Death. Miniature Hobbit is the next target. Justice Punch will land. Death underneath the turret gets the triple kill, and Team Unknown have brought it back. Bossman Jack needs just a little bit of health. They want to go in. He's still alive. Do they take away Red? Team gets the Drake, but Lilia goes down, and that is a Team Unknown positive play in every sense.
Yeah, seriously, and they don't even lose. I'm trying to look at their. Yeah, they don't even lose the feats to that. They still have another opportunity with the Rift Herald, like you were talking about. Both junglers are down, so both teams are kind of hesitating to do that coin flip. But seriously, like, this is the powerhouse of Team Unknown, and gold is locked up. They were on a 5K gold lead for Royal Blue, but Team Unknown, with the power of friendship, you know, looking like a Care Bear episode, is just able to unite together and win those team fights. Absolutely love it. This is what we watch Team Unknown for. This is what we watch Royal Blue for. This is a game, ladies and gentlemen. We are 20 minutes in, and everything is tied up. I love it.
The crazy thing is, if you look at it, we are almost a kill a minute per team right now.
It's so true.
It's PLC at its peak, and it will. Honestly, I hope it never changes. Let's
Absolutely.
be real.
Well, let's be real. It's just more exciting than a game where you have to fill the air. But yeah, so one thing I want to point out is that all the kills are on Twitch right now, which is a great thing. He's a hyper carry. And on the Royal Blue side of things, they have kills that are very, very much spread out, which is good because they have characters that don't hyper carry as much but need that gold. So both teams are in a place of power, are both playing to their strengths. So now it's a matter of which team can play stronger to their strengths. We're seeing a lot of skirmishes, a lot of fights around trying to poke out, trying to see what they can get safely. Honestly, right now, Rift Herald is kind of open if they want to get those feats, but they'll lose a lot of progress on the bot tower, which is why we're seeing hesitation from Team Unknown as they are kind of pushing up more and more these like go chess strategies.
To your point about playing to their strengths, I think Team Unknown did draft the better team fight comp. Oh, never mind. Zeri is caught. Zeri is caught. That's 10 health. does make it out
Oh,
alive.
he
Never
gets
mind,
it.
Death is legendary because he flashes over the wall. Merlin guy is going to be the next target, but Death is put to sleep by Wazak. That shutdown goal to Wazak. Curse of the Sad Mummy will lock some people down. In comes the Galio. That's huge amounts of damage and crowd control. Cosmic Radiance is in. Turmac is the only survivor. He's underneath the turret, but he goes back in because of the abduct. And they are fighting up on the top side. Pianobra is there in a 1v4. He is still alive. He gets one kill and jumps over the wall. Kodo Draco and Lemon decide they don't want to continue the fight, but that was just, it was so much more than it needed to be.
And it's so exciting, it's so cool, but it was such the wrong play for Team Unknown, who just gave so much gold to the enemy team when Twitch died. That is a 800 gold kill for the person who killed Twitch, let alone the assist gold. So, man, suddenly Royal Blue, even though they're technically lower on kills, is 2.3k gold ahead now. Just a very, very tragic, exciting play for Twitch flashing forward, but ultimately too risky when all of your pressure is on one head.
Absolutely. And what we need to see is Team Unknown playing a little bit more for the map. The point I was going to make was, to their strengths, Team Unknown has a team fighting composition, yes. But that means that they're not as good at taking the turrets, as putting pressure on the map. Because look, all three of the outer turrets gone for Team Unknown. All three of the outer turrets standing for Royal Blue.
That's a lot of money, let alone the plates, let alone the map pressure. Because we're playing so much for these epic monsters to get that last feat. Which, by the way, guys, we're at 23 minutes and we still have not claimed feats just because of how tense things are on these team fights. But yeah, here we are, and it's things are looking one way, looking at the other. But ultimately, Team Unknown has not been able to pull ahead in the lead since the beginning of the game.
Lemon might be in some trouble. Pianobra wants to go in. It's the Hex that goes and made him, but underneath the turret with Lissandra's ultimate available, not the right place to be. So that turns into nothing. But what this does do is it gives RBE a chance to go up for that Rift Herald if they want it.
Right, or the Otacon that is now up. You know, Otacon counts as an epic monster. It just doesn't
That is true.
come for the feats that much. But this is where we're at.
That's when the Wazak Curse of the Sad Mummy gives Death 3 time. He picks it up. Miniature Hobbit is the next one, but that's another kill. That's 2 for Death. And this just might be feats for Team Unknown. The Jungler and the Marksman both taken out very, very quickly.
The Camille is pushing that bot lane really quickly. They might get this dragon, they might get the feats, but they're not going to get it cheap. That Camille could very much push down that bot lane turret if Galio is not able to push her out. Galio recalling to do so. Half health already gone, and Camille is just like, I don't care.
You gotta clear the wave, guys. Lesson learned here. Kodo Draco can duel Pianobra underneath his turret, or he can clear the wave and save the turret. And
Pianobra is going to kill him anyways.
Picks up the kill, 447. That's shutdown gold given over to Pianobra.
That's terrifying. Pianobra is someone who knows how to pilot, who knows how to get that. So suddenly we have the feats going over to Team Unknown, which is a significant amount of stuff. However, I still think Royal Blue is coming out on top of this, getting that map pressure, exposing the inhibitor, and then getting a shutdown on a champion that is able to make those big plays. Just a very difficult lesson to learn. Very much so. Otacon will be going over.
Is going to be taken.
Yeah.
On the bottom side, do we see the full collapse? Four members of Team Unknown going against Pianobra here.
I wonder if this is even like a bad thing to expose the inhibitor like they did.
Here they come. Pianobra goes into the Hextech ultimatum, jumps out, and gets hit with all of the crowd control. I am pretty sure that crowd isn't even the right word. That was world control that got thrown out onto Pianobra there. But mid lane turret has been taken, and the rest of the team, because the Camille is dead for 30 seconds, I think this is a pretty smart play. Baron has spawned, they have pressure in mid, and they may not know it, but Zeri and Silas are both backing. Zeri does stay, but Death is so fed, they are going for the Baron.
I think this is a risky play, considering this is the only time that they can do that. Super minions will start pushing on the bot lanes, but if they don't get it here,
but the
then
sleep.
Reds will absolutely get it.
Wazak gets the sleep. Free Boss Man Jack gets hit with the Cosmic Radiance, saves him. Death going against Miniature Hobbit. Does not get the kill. Merlin guy caught on the backside by Lemon. Glass Cone for Kiroro. Free Bossman Jack is still alive, but only just. Miniature Hobbit is the next target. He gets caught with the Justice Punch and killed by Kodo Draco.
Teleport going bot.
Up on the top side by the Baron. Termac is how you say that. Going in on Team Unknown. Kodo Draco wants to go forward. Termac gets locked in. Death is still here. He's backing. He's staying into the back. Termac gets hit with the stun. Lemon gets the Zonias. And the fight is still going. Dazzle onto Waza. Kiroro is still alive, but only just barely. Termac gets hit. He's still alive as well. Killed underneath the turret. Wazak is going to be slowed down with this Frozen Thrall, but Merlin guy gets the kill too. Death gets a kill onto Piano Bread. There is so much going on.
Wow, what a macro play. This is something that, like, you could pull this story back, from a couple minutes ago. On the side, on the mini-map, for those who weren't watching as much, Camille teleported to the bot lane, forcing these recalls from the Baron, and suddenly, this is the only time we have to do Baron, became this trap card where Camille was pressuring the end of the game, kills both the people that responded to her, and no one else was able to respond because they were stopping the backs. And frankly, if they could stop backs even more, they would have ended the game right there, because Camille has that push power, has that ability to 1v1 just about anyone under their tower. Camille, of course, ended up dying for it, but it's this I have a powerhouse, I have this trap guard, and I will eat whoever comes to me. And you are forced to play around my decisions, and that's just the presence that Royal Blue brings. While Team Unknown has this team fight ability, I don't think that they're in the driver's seat. They're forced to play this reactionary game that Royal Blue is just driving them forward. Now, I do think that Royal Blue tends to overstay and tends to have these decisions that are punishable. However, it's always been them that is choosing where things are happening and where things are going. And Team Unknown needs to get something so that they can switch it up and either take the driver's seat for themselves or get a reaction response to be able to close out the game. You mentioned earlier that that no turrets had gone before. Now we only have one turret before, and we have a Nexus turrets that are exposed. That at any point, if they try to extend too far to get Drakes or to get Baron, they have to worry about a teleport that's coming from either Silas or Camille to the bot lane, and suddenly Team Unknown doesn't make decisions anymore. Pretty crazy.
Man Jag wants to go on to Piano Pro, but he dodges it out on the bottom side. Kodo Draco is fighting against Waza. Guerrero joins him, tries to land the Dazzle. Termac has joined the fray as well. It's a 2v2, but it is in favor of RBE.
Yeah, beautifully piloted by the Lilia there.
Lemon underneath the turret with Piano Bra. He's out of escape tools.
Wow.
No Zonias, no W, and Piano Bra gets yet another kill.
No life either as he goes back to the gray screen. Dragon going over to Royal Blue as they're defending their base. An absolute powerhouse from Royal Blue so far. Dragons are 2-2, so it's not necessarily the most impactful thing on the game. But what is impactful is the fact that Team Unknown has to stand in base while they are looking at doing Baron. There is a super minion that is knocking on the door of their base. So if they respond to this Baron, their time is limited to even respond.
Unless they get the steal, in which
Unless
case
they get the steal.
Yeah, but they can't. It's gone. Merlin guy is caught. They are going to take at least one of those buffs away. In goes the Cosmic Radiance, meaning that everyone is invulnerable, but the knock-up from the Galio ultimate does not land on anyone. The flash forward to get the stuns. Wazog is the next target. He is invulnerable at the moment, but will he go down? He's alive for now. Piano Breath wants to go in onto Death, cannot find him. Piano Breath is still alive. He goes down to Death. Wazog and Miniature Hobbit are running away. Team Unknown on the chase. In goes Lemon on the Lysandra. Termac gets stunned. Double kill for the Twitch. Termac goes down, and that's 4 Baron buffs taken off the field by Team Unknown.
Wow, very good response. I honestly did not expect. I knew that their team fight ability was strong, but did not respect just how
They're
strong it
tracking him.
was. Yeah, the hunt is on. You can feel the Rengar eyes on the back of the Zeri's head, but unfortunately, they don't have that buff to know exactly where they are.
Hmm.
Baron recall will allow her to get back, and they still have a Baron at all this. Now, take a note of the gold lead. Even after all of that, because of the Baron play, because of the difficulty in responses, even though Team Unknown has mitigated that threat, does not give them any sort of advantage. They're still behind on gold. They still can't really take a turret because they're pushing for, and they have to worry about this Zeri, who has the buff on them, the Baron buff on them. So, again, Team Unknown is really just kind of trying to pick themselves up, trying to put out wards, get the gold that they can, and then wait for Royal Blue's next play, which is really unfortunate, for a playmaking team like Team Unknown. They're just kind of not in the driver's seat.
I
But
was remind I was reminded by the chat that we actually have a graphic that tells us how far ahead everyone is.
yeah, up at the top.
Oh, not even at the top. It's in the center.
Oh yeah, certainly about which lane is
Yeah, which lane is ahead, and the top lane lead is neutralized by the bottom lane lead, but then it's in the jungle that is the big swing.
right.
5,000 gold.
Yeah, it's very significant, and I want to throw again that Lilia is that champion that is making the difference. Is as impactful as Amumu is, as great as his ult is. I think Lilia is as impactful, if not more, because she has such a lead right now. And you're right, but I also don't think that one for one, Twitch and Camille are arguable, because Twitch has not been given the opportunity to spray and pray as much, to have these nice clean team fights. I think this has been a game of macro, and Royal Blue has been showing that their macro is very, very good.
Agreed. Inhibitor should be Oh, there is the timer. Okay. Why does that feel like it was way longer than it should be? Has it only been 2.5 minutes since they took that inhibitor?
I think they took it again. I
It would
wasn't
had
watching.
to.
Yeah, and that's the danger of super minions is like I'm pretty sure, and now correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure the inhibitor came up and then the super minion just took it right back down because they do
Oh
so
my
much damage. Now I could be wrong, but we've had a lot of excitement to distract me, but yeah, every single time Team Unknown has had to respond to Baron to prevent the game from ending, they've also had to worry about these super minions that if these super minions were coming from something like top lane, mid lane, where they could respond quicker to Baron plays, then that wouldn't be nearly as bad. But they that's not where the pressure is. The pressure is bot lane, and it just takes that much longer to respond to.
So, here's the trick, everybody. If you have to pick a lane to open up, pick bottom lane, because everything important is up on the top.
Well, and you want to pick it away from the epic monster. So if you're fighting for Elder Drake, pick the top lane, and or fighting for Soul, pick the top lane. And frankly, like every lane to open up is a good lane, but it is just suffocating. And I think that's what Royal Blue really is for me, is just this team that just makes you like gasp for air, because they are just squeezing the life out of you over and over and over again. Team Unknown is just desperate to show that they're as strong as they really are. We've seen Team Unknown be strong, and yet they're playing very reactionary, just trying to survive. I really don't think that there's necessarily scaling on either team to say, oh, it's inevitable one way or another. So it really is a matter of who can make the better macro play. Yeah.
Are 35 minutes into this game, 56 kills. The difference is about 5,000, and the turrets difference is the biggest disparity here on these teams. Kiroro has jumped forward to help Kodo Draco flash forward from Bossman Jack. The Curse of the Sad Mummy did go out, but it did not land. Wazak is still alive. He flashed away from the Amumu ultimate, by the way. That's how that worked out. And now They are pressuring on the top side while Piano Bra wants to be on the bottom to take that inhibitor. Kimuro throws out the Cosmic Radiance. Bossman Jack jumps in onto Waza. Teleport
Camille's
coming in
bot.
from Sandra. Camille is bot, and the rest of Team Unknown is up on the top side. Death gets the first kill onto Miniature Hobbit. Shut down there. Termac takes him down. The rest of Team Unknown can't handle it. Lemon is the last one alive. Caught with the Hextech ultimatum, and that will be it. Royal Blue Esports pick up the ace, and for the next 33 seconds are alone with the base.
And honestly, I think the reaction is correct. I think they have enough to just end the game. Not opting to do the Baron. Now, Team Unknown might be alive just enough to see the Nexus lose its turrets and respond, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think this is the end of our semifinals, and I think Royal Blue will have a very commanding win of this game.
A beautiful display of talent from both teams. The ultimate winner, though, Royal Blue Esports with the macro mastery over the team fight composition of Team Unknown. What a crazy set of events. I'm surprised I was able to even get out what I was able to get out.
100%. Yeah, a very crazy game. I think you got to take the Camille away from Piano Bro, but
Mm.
regardless, very, very well played from both teams.